Hey YouTube, what's going on, and welcome back to Cairo and his things. As promised, for this next video, we're looking at the Armytek Wizard C2 WG. Alright, let's get right into it. As far as size, we're looking at 112 millimeters in length, 33 millimeters in diameter, and for weight, we're at 65 grams without the battery and 115 grams with the battery. Now, if you saw my video on the Wizard C1, let's look at the difference in size here. So on the Wizard C1, we have 76 millimeters in length compared to the 115 or 112 on the C2. So that's pretty obvious, right? But as far as the head diameter, both are listed at 33 millimeters. So the point that I wanted to make here is that you're looking at the exact same head size, the same design, everything on the C1 and the C2. So really the major difference is the length. Now for output, we're at 1100 lumens on turbo, and this is for the cool white edition. And that goes for 98 meters. And then for the green light, it maxes at 400 lumens at 63 meters. So I did get the cool white edition on this on the C2, and on the C1 that we already did a review for, that was the warm white. So we'll take a look at that when we get to the beam shots later in this video, and you'll be able to see the difference for Armytek, what their cool white and their warm white looks like. As far as everything else for the output, I'm honestly not sure. I've looked everywhere I can think to look, and I cannot find all the specific output claims. You know, usually I provide you guys with every single level, how many lumens it is, you know, all that different stuff, right? I cannot find that information on this light. So from what I can tell though, I think that every mode is within 100 lumens of this C1. So if you go back and watch the video on this review right here for the Armytek C1, I think that for high, medium, low, and Firefly, I think you're all within a small range there, and I think it's all going to be very, very close. The only thing is the turbo on the C2 is about 150 lumens more. Outside of that, I think we're right in the same territory. That is a TIR with a honeycomb reflector in there, just like on the C1. And as far as battery, we're looking at an 18650 battery. Now, just like the C1, this comes with a magnetic charger. This has got a really good strong magnet on the bottom of this. I've left this stuck on some metal for a couple weeks now, and it's hung on tight. It hasn't moved at all. It's been really great. But one thing, me personally, to each their own, but I do not like having a whole bunch of different chargers that are proprietary around the house and constantly remembering what to use. So if you're like me, if it's easier for you, you can unscrew this, take out the 18650 battery, and you can just charge it in a little portable battery charger like this, or maybe you have a better one with multi-bays or whatever. But if you prefer, just get yourself a little charger. If you're finding yourself getting multiple brands of lights with proprietary chargers, you could do that as well. But either way, it comes with a magnetic charger. It just sticks right on there and charges, and you're good to go. Now, moving down the light here, we've got a really good, strong, durable metal clip here. This thing actually, like, it has even a little bit of weight for a clip. It feels really, really good. Like, that thing is tough. So I like that clip right there. Very, very good. Now, when you get low battery on this, it's kind of different. It's not like what you'd expect, where it's like, oh, you press the button and it lights up red or green. Instead, on this one, when you turn the light on, which you'll see it does have memory mode there because it put us back into Firefly, but when you turn the light on, after about 30 seconds, if it double flashes on you, that means you're at 25 or less % battery. So that will be your low battery indicator. Okay? And when you're charging this light, if you do use the magnetic charger, it will light up with a red or green to show you how far into charging you are. Now, as far as the user interface on this, I'm going to show you the basics real quick. So you simply click to turn it on, and you hold down to go brighter, to get into strobe, and then back. So low, medium, high, strobe. Low, medium, high, strobe. Okay? Or if you turn it off and hold down, that's how you get into your little Firefly mode. Now, if you double click, that's how you get into your green light. Okay? So double click is not turbo. Double click is a switch between green and white. So when I double click that, now it's just the same thing. I hold down. You'll see I'm switching between low, medium, high, and the moonlight, low, medium, high, moonlight. Okay, we'll double click here. And right back into white. Okay. So really simple user interface as far as if you leave it on the basic mode that it comes in. Now on the video for the C1, I covered how to switch between all the different modes on an Armytek. If you're interested in that, go ahead and check out that video. I'm not going to go in and cover all that again, but there's ways that you turn the cap a bit and you can switch between different modes, like main 1, main 2, and different things. We're not going to cover all that in this video, but it is a bit of a more complex user interface. It's not for everybody. Some people prefer that, but personally, I like just keeping it in the basic mode it came in. I think it's a pretty good, easy to use mode. But with this light being so similar to the C1, I think what really is going to show you what makes this special is let's take a look at the beam shots. All right, now that we took a look at those beam shots, hopefully you were able to see not only the difference between the cool white and the warm white, so you can make a choice there of which you prefer for Armytek, but hopefully you could see how great it is to have that green light as well. So I know that the green light may not be for everybody. Personally, I had no green lights in my collection. I think it's really good if you're a hunter or if you're just using something that you may be using out in the middle of the woods at night or whatever and you don't want any issues. A green light is a great option. This is, it's just nice to have in the collection as well. So it's pretty cool to check that out, see how it performs. And I think overall, this light does perform well. So some notes I have on this is the first thing, which we kind of already covered, but it's that this is so similar to the C1. The C1 and the C2, since I already reviewed the C1, when I got the C2 in the mail, I was like, wow, not only does it look very similar, but it performs very similar as well. I mean, really the major differences here are the battery tube. 18350, 18650. You get a little bit of extra lumens on turbo on this C2, and you get some more runtime on it. Outside of that, though, very, very similar. So if you have one of these, if you already have a C2 or if you already have a C1, and if you like the platform, you're going to like the other one as well. Okay. As far as the quality, I mean, I really think that everything on this light is quality. To me, this is the major seller for getting one of these Armyteks versus going with some of the other brands. If you're looking for a 90-degree flashlight, a headlamp, whatever, I think that this is a great option, and I'm not just saying that. I really genuinely mean it because everything is quality, from the button to the fit and finish to every piece that they use on this. I really believe that this is a quality flashlight right here, that there's nothing that they cheaped out on. I could be wrong. I think it's running a buck driver as well, which is really nice. So it's just a great piece, and I really do enjoy having it. And for one thing, I kind of think of the Zebra light as something that you go for if you just want something that's quality, right? Well, to me, the Armytek is like that, where you go for it if it's quality, but if you want a little bit more features than what the Zebra light provides, go with the Armytek. That's my opinion on it. So take that how you will. As far as price, we're looking at $85, which I think is pretty fair considering the little guy here runs about $65. And then one thing that I will note, though, is that I was really wanting to put a lanyard on this, and I know we're all different. A lot of people don't like using lanyards. I personally prefer to use lanyards, but there's no lanyard hole. I really wish that they would have added a lanyard hole, and I wish that this was USB-C recharging instead of the magnetic recharger. Other than that, I really don't have anything negative to say about this light. I enjoy it. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 or anything. There's nothing about it that overly wows me per se, but it's just overall quality and just a great light. It's one of those that, hey, if you need a good light in your collection, especially if you're only looking for one, I think this is a good choice to go with. You know, on other flashlight videos I've done, there's been some that I said, hey, this has some cool features, but if you're only getting one light, I probably wouldn't get this one because it maybe doesn't have the best quality. Well, to me, this is one where it's like I can say that, hey, if you're only getting one, this is a good choice to get. It does a lot of things really well. Now, as far as any information that I wasn't sure on in this video, usually I do have that information ready to go as far as all the output claims, what the emitter is, stuff like that. But since I wasn't able to find that information, when I find it out later on, I will add it into the description. But initially, upon this video being pretty newly posted, I likely won't have that information yet. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and keep this video short. I think that we covered a lot of what makes this light special and how the light works in the video for the C1. So I highly recommend going and checking that out. But that's all I've got for you. Thanks so much for watching.